Yes, good morning, dear students. I welcome you all for the second hour of the second day's online contact classes for final year MA students. I hope I am audible. Can you hear me? Good morning, everyone. I could see again. I can see only one student. Like I hope there are a few more participants. Huh? Yes. Good morning, dear students. Coming to the second session of second day's online MA English classes for the final year students. Today I'll be dealing with one more text from the same paper, that is 20th century literature. In this paper, there is a text called Waiting for Godot. Waiting for Godot by Samuel Beckett. Samuel Beckett was born in the year 1906 and died in the year 1989. He was born in the year 1906 and died in the year 1989. Now, this play, Waiting for Godot, was when it was first performed, first performed in Paris. Actually, this play was originally written in French language. In French language, it was titled as like it is titled as An Attendant Godot. An Attendant Godot. EN attendant 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 Godot DGODO Godot. T is silent there in Godot. So an attendant Godot means waiting for Godot was originally written in French language. It was first performed in Paris. In Paris in the year 1953. In the year 1953, it created when it was first performed on the stage, it created the waves of shock. It created the waves of shock in theater circle because this was an experiment that Samuel Beckett did on stage with minimum characters, with minimum of stage setting. He could draw an outline of the philosophy of life. He could draw an outline for the philosophy of life, through this play with minimum characters, with very few characters, unlike Shakespearean or any other Greek plays. You see only few characters with very few stage setting, very minimum stage settings. Samuel Beckett, as a playwright, is able to draw an outline for the philosophy of life. ಜೀವನದ ಒಂದು ಆ, ಜೀವನಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಸಿದ್ಧಾಂತ ಒಂದು ಫಿಲಾಸಫಿ ತತ್ವ ಒಂದು ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ತಾತ್ವಿಕವಾಗಿ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ again it's this play as again is giving so much of message, so much of messages, messages through this play. And Samuel Beckett again in this play, no, the critics say it's a play that deals with nothing. It's a play about nothing. It's a play about nothing. ಜೀವನ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಶೂನ್ಯ. ಸೊ ಜೀವನ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಶೂನ್ಯ ಸಂಪಾದನೆ. Like that is what we all ಮೋಕ್ಷ ಮೋಕ್ಷ ಅಂದರೆ ಮೋಕ್ಷ when we try to attain moksha, when we try to reach, at the time of our death, at the time of our death, we all feel like attaining moksha. So why do we want to attain moksha? So by attaining moksha, so that our soul can rest in peace anta, but ultimately what all we gain, what all we means when we look backwards, into the road that we have trodden, the journey that we have passed in life, we feel when we are on the deathbed, we feel that we have not achieved anything in life. ಶೂನ್ಯ ಸಂಪಾದನೆ. ಹೆಸರು ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ದುಡ್ಡು ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ. We might have achieved so many things, We might have earned name, fame, money, everything, but still there is something lacking. So, Jivana Anadu Shunya Sampad, there is nothing in life, Anta. Life is, again, the play, again, as I told you, the subject of the play. The subject of the play is how to pass the time. How to pass the time in a situation, in a situation that offers, in a situation that offers no hope. No hope, HOP, hope. ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಉತ್ಸಾಹ, ಯಾವುದೇ ಒಂದು ಆ, ಭರವಸೆ ಭರವಸೆ ಹೋಪ್ ಭರವಸೆ ಇಲ್ಲದ ಇರುವಂಥ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಗೇನ್ ಔಟ್ ಟು ಪಾಸ್ ದ ಟೈಮ್ ಔಟ್ ಟು ಪಾಸ್ ದ ಟೈಮ್ in a situation in a situation that offers no hope, that offers no hope in life. But normally people commit suicide when they feel that life is not offering any hope. But that is not an end of life. Like by committing suicide, you are not going to achieve anything. Because there is a saying that human life you get only once in a while, Anta. Like after so many incarnations, human life is rarely we do get rarely ಅಂತ. That is what they say. ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಅವತಾರಗಳು ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಜನ್ಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಜನ್ಮ ಅನ್ನೋ ಸಿಗೋದು ಒಂದೇ ಸಾರಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ದೇ ಸೇ. ಬಟ್ ದ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಇಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಪ್ಲೇ ಆಸ್ ಐ ಟೋಲ್ಡ್ ಯು is about like how to pass the time, how to pass the time in a situation that offers no hope, that offers no hope. I've seen so many people with so much of money, property, leaving everything, and moving towards Himalayas, and embracing what sainthood, ಸನ್ಯಾಸತ್ವದ ದೀಕ್ಷೆಯನ್ನ ತಗೊಂಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ. So what is the reason for that? So they feel that even after achieving, even after gaining so many things, achieving so many things in life, but still they feel that life is nothing. Life is nothing. That is what Buddha felt, isn't it? ಬುದ್ಧ ಕೂಡ ಜೀವನ ಅನ್ನೋದು ನಶ್ವರ, ಜೀವನ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಶೂನ್ಯ ಸಂಪಾದನೆ, ಸಾವಿಲ್ಲದ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸಾಸಿವೆ ತಗೊಂಡ್ ಬಾ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಕಥೆ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಬುದ್ಧ saw the despair, again the despair, the pain with his own eyes. And after 30 years of his life, after spending 30 years of his life, means after crossing 30 years, after marrying and having a son called Rahula, okay, he took again sannyasatva, isn't it? So what I mean to say here is that is what Beckett wants to convey through this play. Again, as I told you, the central act of the play is waiting for nothing, waiting, and nothing really happens. We all wait in our life to expecting that something will happen, something miracle will take place. We are going to achieve something bigger. But again, when those expectations gets shattered, we feel disappointed, we feel dejected. So as I told you, the play is all about how to pass the time in a situation that offers nothing. The play is also all about, it's about waiting. It's also about nothing really seems to happen. It's also about, it's a play, again as I told you, it's a play about nothing. Okay, that means nothing, means that nothingness in life, So for again, what made Samuel Beckett to have this idea as a theme for discussion in this play? You know, there are several themes in Waiting for Godot. One major theme is waiting, kayuvike, waiting, isn't it? We all wait. So by the time when we are born, so ಹುಟ್ಟುತ್ತಾನೆ ಆ ನಿರೀಕ್ಷೆ, ಕಾಯುವಿಕೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಸಾಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Even after turning 70 or 80, you people will wait for death, isn't it? People who are hospitalized, who are age old, who are in the orphanages, old age centers, the orphanages, they all anticipate death, isn't it, to arrive no sooner or later. So means we all wait in our life for something or the other, Madam Jobina, I am teaching a text called Waiting for Godot in the paper titled 20th Century Literature. The play is called Waiting for Godot. It's a French play. This is what happens if you enter the class late. You ask so many questions and you cause so much of trouble to other participants. Please be attentive. Please enter the class in time. Please be punctual. Okay. So don't ask questions which chapter, which text. If you don't enter the class in time, this is what happens. Okay. And what I mean to say here is, it's again waiting for Godot. I can't repeat it. I've gone further. I've given enough introduction. Okay. And as I told you, Samuel Beckett again was born during that time, 1906 to he died in the year 1989, and this play again created waves of shock in theater circle. It was performed in 1953. It's a play with minimum actors, minimum stage setting, which deals with the theme of waiting, nothingness, and also again how to pass the time in a situation that offers no hope at all. No hope at all. So before going further into the text, before going penetrating deep into the text, let me give you a brief introduction about absurd theater. This play comes under the category called absurd theater. What do you mean by theater of absurd? Martin Esslin, Esslin, Martin Esslin has written a book called The Theater of Absurd. The Theater of Absurd. So again, in that theater of absurd, again, he has given a definition for absurd. What in that book called Theater of Absurd, Martin Esslin has given a definition for the word absurd. So, what does he mean by absurd? Absurd means not consciously conceived. Absurd theater means it's not a consciously conceived theater movement. It's not a consciously conceived theater movement. It has no clear. It has no clear cut. It has no clear cut doctrines or ideologies. It has no clear cut ideologies. But still, people say absurd theater is very much close to, again, existential philosophy. There are few important pioneers of absurd theaters, like you have Jean Genet, Arthur Adamov, and also Harold Pinter and Eugenie Ionesco, and also you have Sartre, Kafka, and again they are all novelists. You have Sartre, Kafka, Camus. They come under the category called novel. Okay, they have written novels. Martin Esslin also says that these dramatists who belong to the theater of absurd, again, these dramatists write from a sense of metaphysical anguish, right from a sense of metaphysical anguish at the absurdity of the human, at the absurdity of human condition, at the absurdity of human condition. Sartre, Kafka, Camus, Albert Camus, Sartre, Kafka. Again, they are all again noted. Kafka is a German writer. Camus and Sartre, they are from France. French writers. All these three famous existential authors have argued in the same philosophy. They have argued in the same philosophy, in the same philosophical position. So they do have the same philosophical position, but they have presented their argument in a highly formal discourse, with logical and precise, views, You have Eugenie Ionesco, Eugenie Ionesco, 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 and Jean Genet. You have Arthur Adamov, and you have Harold Pinter. The famous Harold Pinter, known for the famous play called The Birthday Party. No, They are called as pioneers of absurd theater. You also have again absurd novelists again who belong to the theory of absurd. Okay, and as I told you, the theater of absurd do not have a consciously conceived. It's not a consciously conceived theater movement. It has no clear cut doctrines or ideologies. At the same time, it has no deliberate. It is not a deliberate conscious movement. They should evaluate for their individual concerns. Most of the playwrights consider themselves as most of the playwrights who come under the category called theater of absurd consider themselves as lonely, rebellious, rebellious, and outsiders isolated in their own private worlds. In their own private worlds. They do not come under the normal category of theatrists. They are completely different. They try to have a unique identity. These writers try to have a unique identity. They always consider themselves as lonely, rebellious outsiders, isolated in their own private world. Private world. So Samuel Beckett is one among those theater of again who belongs to theater of absurd. So, in weaving the plays that compromise this absurd theater movement, we must, as readers, we as readers, if again as readers of theater of absurd or the theater absurd plays, as readers, we should forsake. Forsake means give up all these points. Again, we cannot expect all these points in a play that comes under the category called theater of absurd. What is that? Coherence. You can't find coherence. Okay, and coherently again developed situations. You don't find coherently developed situations in the play. There is no coherence in situations. At the same time, characterizations that are rooted in the logic of motivation and reaction. Motivation and reaction. Forget settings. You, as a theater audience, or a serious reader of plays, you should forget what the settings that bear theater settings. They bear that bear an intrinsic, realistic, or obvious relationship of the drama as a whole. Forget the use of language as a tool of logical communication. So in theater of absurd, as a reader, you should forget the use of language. So that means you should forget the use of language as a tool of logical communication. In such plays, you don't find again the language logically communicated. What I mean to say here is, when you read the play, you come to know that even while using the words, the playwrights are very much realistic to life, very much realistic to life. They are direct. They forget these figures of speeches, idioms, proverbs. They don't like to infuse their dramas with all the ornamental items ornamental items. They forget. They hardly care for these figures of speech or idioms or proverbs. Again, the parts of language. They don't want to seriously delve into the issue called language. The issue called language. When you read the play, you'll come to know that the play is again the language of the play of theater of absurd, which comes into the category called theater of absurd. The language is not logically communicated. Logically communicated. So, at the same time, we must forget what the cause and relationships that is found in traditional drama. So you don't find the cause and also the again the connection to the causes or the reasons. So and also use of number puzzling devices. Again, at the same time, these playwrights uses again the puzzling devices in their drama, the devices, the equipments, that is the equipments used in the drama is puzzling for the audience, is confusing for the audience why he has used this again tool or an equipment. Okay, so the external world in this queer and fantastic place is often depicted as menacing, devouring, and unknown. Menacing, devouring, and unknown. The setting and situations often makes the audience feel uncomfortable. Uncomfortable. The world itself seems incoherent, frightening, and strange. But at the same time, it seems hauntingly poetic and familiar. It seems hauntingly poetic and familiar. Familiar to people who belong to 20th century and 21st century because we are all undergoing the same kind of situation, the same kind of mindset that these characters that you find in this play called Waiting for Godot. These characters represents modern man. It's a modern play. The characters that have been used by Samuel Beckett represent our own life, our own life. They reflect the kind of life that the modern man is leading, is leading. Modern man, modern man, modern man's life has no hope, and there is nothingness in life, and we are all just passing our time. We are all waiting, waiting for something or the other, for something or the other. Waiting becomes the major theme. Waiting becomes the major theme. The second theme is Godot. So, what exactly is Godot? Whether it is God or something else. So, Godot, when he has used the word Godot, naturally it is God. But again, the name, again, the use of again, again using the name of God, he wants to convey something. So, God may not appear or may appear, may not appear. It's like, waiting for Godot. It's like you can compare it to the poem of G.S. Yurudrappa called Kanada Kadalige Ambalisida Mana. ಕಾಣದ ಕಡಲಿಗೆ ಅಂಬಲಿಸಿದೆ ಮನ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕಡಲು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವುದು? Is it literally kadalu means the ambition or the destination where we want to reach or achieve? Is it the peaceful journey we all aspire? ಕಟಿಲ ಜಟಿಲ ಕಾನನದ ಕುಟಿಲ ಒಂದಿದೆ ಲೈನ್. ಯು ರೀಡ್ ದ ಪೋಯಮ್ ಕಾಣದ ಕಡಲಿಗೆ. So you feel like what exactly is kadalu? Whether it is death or is it ambition or specific goal that we all aspire to achieve. Like normally some critics have come to the conclusion that kanada kadalu may also mean death anta. We all want to achieve peaceful death. What do you mean by peaceful death? For a married man, for a married man to get his daughters or sons again married off or to get them employed, ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಮದುವೆ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಕೆಲಸ ಕೊಡಿಸೋದು, this is what we all aspire. Like for parents normally this is what we want to see. ಮೊಮ್ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಆಟ ಆಡ್ಸೋದು, ಆಮೇಲೆ ನೆಮ್ಮದಿಯಾಗಿ ಸತ್ತರೆ ಸಾಕಪ್ಪ ಅಂತ. So waiting becomes the motive again, the main issue here. Like waiting for something. People will be waiting for death. People will be waiting for jobs. People will be waiting for marriage. People will be waiting for bus. People will be waiting for physical waiting, mental waiting. Is it like physically we'll be waiting for something, mentally we'll be waiting to achieve something. We have specific targets, specific dreams, isn't it? So specific aspirations. Because we all want to achieve something. We all want to reach a certain destination. So waiting becomes a specific theme. At the same time, Godot Godo means God who never comes. Okay, like the waiting is like waiting for God. We all wait for God to help us in our bad days, in our agonies, in our agonies, isn't it? We all expect God to come to our rescue. But if God doesn't appear, we all scold or curse God, isn't it? God may not come. So 90% of the people living on this again beautiful planet, blue dot planet called Earth, we are all waiting for good days, better days, shiny days, days with full of sunshine, isn't it? So waiting becomes the important aspect. At the same time, waiting for whom? God. So God represents what? The holy grace, mercy. Okay, God may not appear. God may not fulfill your dreams, isn't it? Like waiting for God is a futile task ಅಂತ. ದೇವರಿಗೆ ಕಾಯುವುದು ನಿರೀಕ್ಷೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಒಳ್ಳೇದು ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಒಂದು ಸುಳ್ಳು ಭರವಸೆ, ಒಂದು ಆ, ಏನು ಏನು ಸಫಲವಲ್ಲದ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ, ವಿಫಲ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅ ಫ್ಯೂಟೈಲ್ ಎಫರ್ಟ್. So suffering, another important factor is suffering. Suffering, again, life means what? Suffering. Like wasteland, like these writers who came after First World War, they always projected suffering as the pain, suffering as the main aspects of the literature. Suffering, which is also a reality in life. We cannot escape from human suffering, isn't it? Suffering is another important aspect or theme. Human condition, the social conditions that we are living, okay, also has an influence on our suffering, isn't it? At the same time is very, very important. We cannot buy time. We might be having so much of money, but can we buy yesterday with our money? Is it possible? Can we buy 9 p.m. 9 a.m. 9 p.m. is 9 sorry 9 a.m. of 18th May 2022? Can we buy it? If you are living in America, you can buy it. Not in India, isn't it? Because we have passed that time. Isn't it? Time is very, very important. So period of time is unclear. At the same time, we are not conscious. Like we are very much conscious of time. Time passes. Time just passes. We pass time again in a situation like we are living in a world in a situation where we just pass time without any hope. Without any hope. And again, let me move on to the play. Again, there are a few important characters here. You have Vladimir. Vladimir, the name itself suggests that again Vladimir is a man who represents Russia. Again, Vladimir is a name picked from, again, it's a Russian origin name. It's a Russian origin name. Vladimir is the protagonist. You also have Estragon. Estragon represents Spain. You have Pozzo. Pozzo represents Italy. These names are originated from these countries. Vladimir is a name picked from Russia. It has got Russian origin. Estragon from Spain. And you have Pozzo from Italy, and you have Lucky. Lucky, the name is again is borrowed from England. So these four characters, major characters, represent different parts of Europe. Different parts of Europe. Vladimir, again, as a character, he is straight. He is the straight man that we normally see in again burlesque play. What do you mean by burlesque play? Burlesque. So what do you mean by burlesque? So burlesque is a parody. Again, a work or a piece of work, an art or performance that imitates another piece of art with irony or ridicule. ಒಂದು ಸಾಹಿತ್ಯ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸಾಹಿತ್ಯನ ವ್ಯಂಗ್ಯ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಒಂದು ಸಾಹಿತ್ಯದ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸಾಹಿತ್ಯನ ವ್ಯಂಗ್ಯ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕಲೆಯನ್ನ ಹಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಮೀನ್ ಬೈ ಬುರ್ಲೆಸ್ಕ್. BURLESQUE. burlesque. So again, Vladimir is a straight man that we normally see in burlesque act. Intellectually concerned, he's very, very intellectually concerned with variety of ideas. With variety of ideas, they may ask you a question in the exam. Attempt is character sketch of Vladimir in Waiting for Godot. Okay, if such a question is posed, this is what you have to write. He makes decisions, knows more about Godot. He knows more about God. He is the character who takes decision in the play. He is more religious and philosophical, and finds its implications in their discussions of events. He correlates some of their actions to the general concerns of mankind. So he correlates some of the actions they commit on the stage to the entire mankind, to the general concerns, of mankind. To quote from the text, he says, "It is not every day we are needed. It is not every day we are needed, but at this place, at this moment in time." Very, very philosophical. We are not needed every day, but at this time, at this place, at this moment, at this moment in time. So it is Vladimir who questions Pozo, Lucky, and the boy messenger. It is the boy messenger who frequently comes in the play and says that God may not appear tomorrow. He will come, he will definitely come on the other, some other day. So that boy messenger keeps the aspirations or hopes of these characters alive. By frequently visiting this place, he says that God may appear tomorrow. God may come tomorrow. He has asked you to wait here under the same tree. Okay, and both Vladimir and Estragon are two tramps who are called as tramps. You might have watched a movie called movie of Charlie Chaplin. So tramps, again, exactly, they resemble Charlie Chaplin. Okay, both the characters, Vladimir and Estragon, they resemble Charlie Chaplin. You might have seen Charlie Chaplin. They are tramps, tramps, tramps with costumes that can be interchanged. They wear big boots, ದೊಡ್ಡ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಶೂಸ್ಗಳ ಬೂಟ್ಸ್ಗಳು ಹಾಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಬೂಟ್ಸ್ boots normally, again, there is a difference between boots and shoes. Boots, again, the police people wear boots, they don't wear shoes. Again, they wear boots. You might have seen policemen. They normally wear boots. These two tramps are wearing big boots that doesn't fit, and both have big bowler hats, big bowler hats. Bowler hat ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಬೌಲ್ ತರ ಇತ್ತು, ದೊಡ್ಡದಾಗಿ ಅಗಲ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. So like Charlie Chaplin's hat, Charlie Chaplin's big bowl hat, big bowl hat, bowler hat ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. So they are wearing bowler hats. Okay, at the same time, big boots. They are two tramps, suits, baggy and ill-fitting, exactly like Charlie Chaplin's dress or wearing, or cloth or attire. So how you see, you might have seen Charlie Chaplin. These characters resemble Charlie Chaplin. They are wearing what? Suits, baggy and ill-fitting. Ill-fitting means not fitting properly. So, and they also have ropes, belt-like thing to hold those pants, trousers. Charlie Chaplin that robe. And suits, baggy and ill-fitting. Their dress indicates that they are outcasted socially. They are socially outcasted. You have another character called Estragon, who is very much concerned with mundane activities. Mundane activities. What do you mean by mundane activities? MUNDANE. Mundane activities means earthly pleasures, earthly or worldly pleasures. Again, he's very much concerned with mundane matters. Mundane, MUNDANE, mundane matters. He prefers carrot to Radish. Radish andre um, Mulangi. He prefers carrot for radish. Okay. His feet is hurt. He blames his boots for that. On ಕಾಲಲ್ಲಿ ಗಾಯ ಆಗಿದೆ and he blames his boots for that. Constantly wants to live. Throughout the play, you can see Estrogan suggesting Vladimir that they have to leave that spot. Okay, constantly wants to leave this place. It must be drilled into him that he has to wait for God. It has to be drilled to his mind that they have to wait for God. He is not concerned with religious or philosophical matters. So compared to Vladimir, Estragon is not again concerned with religious or philosophical matters. He's not concerned with trivial issues. Trivial issues. He is not dependent on Vladimir. He is not dependent on Vladimir. He is less intelligent. He is less intelligent. He is less intelligent compared to Vladimir. Has to have everything explained to him. So he is not a rationally thinking being. Everything has to be clearly explained to him. So he is essentially bewildered or confused in life. He needs someone to look after him. He needs someone to look after him. On the other hand, you have Pozo and Lucky. Okay, so it's a two-act play. Let me. It's 12:10. Let me try to complete this play within the allotted time. So in Act 1, uh, the setting is a strange place. It's a strange place in outer space with its haunting and brooding sense of despair. Again, you see on the stage, again, two characters. Again, there are only two characters, stranded figures on an alien landscape who are given up struggling and are dependent upon on waiting for Godot. You know, there are two characters. Okay, they have come on the stage. They are waiting under the tree, and that tree is located on road. Road symbolizes what? Life. Road symbolizes life. Road is symbolic. Here, again, every instrument that is used or equipment, on stage equipment that is used in the play signifies something in this play. Road symbolizes what? It reflects, it symbolizes, it reflects what? It symbolizes, it's symbolic, it's symbolic of what? Again, life, journey that we normally take on road. Okay, life. Journey means the journey that we again pass, that we normally, journey of life. These two characters have come on that road and are waiting for someone under that barren tree. Under the tree. It's not yet barren, to be honest. Okay, a strange place in outer space with its haunting and brooding sense of despair. A country, okay, a road, a lonely main road. It's a lonely main road. Lonely main road. Lonely means nobody is passing there. It's an isolated road. Okay. The loneliness and isolation of the setting sets the tone of the play. So it's an isolated road. There is complete loneliness. ಗಂಭೀರವಾದಂಥ ನಿಶಬ್ದವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ವಾತಾವರಣ, ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಏಕಾಂತ, loneliness. There is complete loneliness. The road is barren, isolated. Nobody is moving in that road. It's a deserted road. And these two characters have come. They are waiting for God. And they are waiting under a tree. Under the tree. As I told you, road implies journey, continuity of movement in life. We can't be stagnant. Continuity of movement in life. But here we have two deserted and isolated figures, isolated characters with no place to go. because you should not forget that these two characters, both Vladimir and Estragon, are the two tramps. The two tramps, again, though they are socially outcasted, they are socially outcasted. They don't have dependents. They don't have dependents like you and me. They don't have family members. They don't have children, wife, or friends. Okay, they are the only two people waiting for someone in that deserted, isolated, lonely road, which is symbolic of journey, and continuity of movement. Road symbolizes journey and continuity of movement, and we can see there are two deserted characters, isolated figures with no place to go and no journey to look forward. So they don't know where to go. They don't know where to go, where to reach. There are so many such people who are aimless in life. These two characters are represent them. The play opens with the words nothing to be done. ನಾಟಕ ಶುರುವಾಗದೆ ಈ ಸಾಲುಗಳಿಂದ ಯಾವುದು ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಈ ಪದಗಳಿಂದ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಡನ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಡನ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ nothing to be done. Lines uttered by Estragon, where he is struggling to get his stuck boot off his sore foot. ಗಾಯ ಆಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಕಾಲಿನಿಂದ ಆ ಬೂಟ್ನ ತೆಗೆಯೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಪಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾನೆ ಯಾರು ಎಸ್ಟ್ರಗನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಒನ್ ಹೂ ಅಟರ್ಸ್ ದೀಸ್ ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಬಿ ಡನ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಗಾಯ ಆಗಿರುವ ಕಾಲಿಂದ ಆ ಬೂಟನ್ನು ತೆಗಿತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ. He is trying to remove the boots, one of the boot. Okay, nothing to be done. Lines uttered by Estragon, where he is struggling to get his stuck boot off his sore foot. Estragon is concerned with his boots, its immediate and practical problem. So for him, removing the boots is the immediate and practical problem. So he has to resolve that problem. He is busy in removing that boot from the sore foot. Vladimir, on the other hand, in contrast, laments the general nature of their suffering, by remembering better days that used to be. It's a beautiful play. And you see, Vladimir now tries to recall the better days that they have spent in the past. So it's a general tendency when you are free, when you are having rough patch in your life, you try to recall the shiny hay days that you had experienced in the past. He says, in fact, hopes deferred maketh the heart sick, but a desire fulfilled is a free of life. These lines are taken from Bible 13:12. 13:12. It's a proverb used in Bible. And through this statement, it tries to suit this statement suits them, since we see them in a state of sickness of heart. Their hopes are constantly deferred as they continually wait for God. Their desires never fulfilled since God never arrives. These two tramps, who represent the majority of the mankind, expecting or anticipating the arrival of God, but does God arrive on the scene? No, not at all. Blaming one's foot for the faults of one's boots. Look at this, like blaming one's boot for the faults of one's foot. Very, very interesting. So blaming one's boot for the faults of one's foot. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕಾಲಿನಲ್ಲೇ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆ ಇದೆ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕಾಲಿನ ಪಾದ ಅಗಲ ಇರಬಹುದು. So for that reason, you need not blame your boot. So blaming one's boot for the faults of one's foot refers to the tendency of man to blame the external thing that will have an impact on your life. So if you don't put in your effort, If you don't apply yourself, there is no there is no use in blaming the external issues, So at the same time, Vladimir, in fact, he gets frustrated by seeing his friend busy in removing the boot from one of his sore foot. You see, what is he says? Come on, return the ball, can't you once in a way? So throughout the drama, Estragon is unable to sustain his end of conversation. So throughout the drama, you don't see Estragon ending the conversation. It is Vladimir who ends the conversation. He says, come on, return the ball, can't you once in a way? Okay, sustain is end of the conversation. The central problem of the play is by looking at the desolate landscape, Estragon tells Vladimir, let's go. That is the central problem of the play. So, by looking at the desolate landscape, desolate landscape resembles the world that we are living. The world that we are living. The Jagattu appears desolate for those who are in need of help, who are expecting again someone to help them with a lot of hope, who are expecting the arrival of God. Again, central problem of the play is by looking at the desolate landscape, Estragon again tells again Vladimir, let's go, and at the same time they can't go, even though Estragon advises Vladimir that they have to go from that place and to continue the journey. Vladimir says, Vladimir again, they don't go, they don't even move from that place. They sit there itself, sorry. They can't go since they are waiting for whom? They are waiting for God. So who has again assured them that he's going to turn out tomorrow. Is going to come tomorrow. They cannot leave that place because God has asked them to wait for them there. Okay, and they are not sure whether it is right place, right time, or is it a right tree where they are waiting now for the arrival of God. These two characters are not sure whether it is right time, right place, or right tree that they are waiting for the arrival of God. Their waiting is for indeterminate time. Their waiting is for indeterminate time. The essential problem is what to do with one's waiting. Is what to do with one's waiting, how to pass the time while waiting. Life is like that. Our life is like that. How do we pass our time? We get up in the morning, we survive. Life is full of struggles. We fight each and every day. We survive and we go to bed. We get up in the morning, we survive, we fight our life throughout the day, and then we go and rest and take a deep nap or sleep. Again, what I mean to again, you have an hanging situation instance. Again, they both of them try to hang themselves to the branch, one of the branch of tree. Okay, so suggest man's attempts to solve things rationally bring about all kinds of difficulties. It is best to do nothing. It is best to do nothing. It's safer. They decide not to make any effort to change their desolate or intolerable or impossible situation. They don't try to change their lifestyle. They think that it is better to stay as they are. They don't want to make any significant change in their life. Both Vladimir and Estragon represent modern man in his relationship with God. Then the modern condition of man is disturbingly precarious. The present condition of modern man is disturbingly precarious. Precarious, modern man is lost. These two characters, Vladimir and Estragon, represents modern man. Modern man appears to be lost. Modern man is lost, not knowing where to turn, not knowing where to go, where to turn. So These two characters represents you and me. We don't know where to go, where to reach, where to wait, okay, and what to do in our life. We are all confused, okay, like these two characters. Look at this say again, character struggle. We have no rights anymore. He says, we have no rights anymore. Look at the reaction of Vladimir. You would make me laugh if it was not prohibited. Yesterday, we are not tied. Means nobody can tie the man. We are not tied. Nobody can put restrictions to man. So you look at the philosophy that they're speaking. Look at, through these characters who appear to be tramps, who look like tramps, through these characters, Samuel Beckett is able to speak the naked reality of life. Is able to give voice to the philosophy of life, to the philosophy of life through through these two characters. They appear to be tramps. They look like tramps. Alemarigalu, Akipiki Janangatara, wandering tramps who don't have specific place to live, who are socially outcasted. But through those characters, again, Samuel Beckett is giving a touch or giving or speaking about the naked aspects of life. Again, speaking about the philosophy of life. Okay. And Estragan saying that we are not tied indicates that man's revolt to God, revolt against God, revolt from God. Revolt again, man's revolt against. We are not tied. So, again, even God cannot put restrictions on us. We are not bound to be somewhere. Again, we cannot live to the expectations of God. We are not tied. Indicates that man is revolted against God. Modern man is revolted against God because we are helpless. Okay, we need help of God, and when He doesn't appear in time, we feel restless, isn't it? So Vladimir and Stragan are parodies of the circus clown. You also have Pozo and Lucky, two other characters. Pozo resembles the image of circus ringmaster. Pozo resembles the ringmaster. He arrives on stage brandishing the whip. On chauti itkondu bartane, brandishing, okay, waving the whip, WHIP, brandishing the whip. Pozo commands Lucky. Lucky is the slave of Pozo in Act 1. So Pozo commands Lucky and Lucky obeys. Lucky obeys. In Act 1, he is seen as in terms of authoritarian figure. Pozo appears like authoritarian figure in Act 1. He is decisive, powerful, and confident. Gives the illusion that he knows where he is going. So Pozo is fully aware where he is going. He is decisive, powerful, and confident. Gives the illusion that he knows where he is going. Where he arrives on the scene, he sees both Estragon and Vladimir and recognizes them as humans, inferior beings. Later, condescendingly acknowledges that there is human likeness. There is human likeness. At the same time, later in the play, you see the significant change in the life of Pozo, in his position. Pozo's position is changed. Okay, he has bought Lucky, okay, like a slave with by brandishing the whip. ಚೌಟಿ ಹಿಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅವ್ನು ಹೊಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬೆಲ್ಟ್ ಹಿಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಂದಿರ್ತಾನೆ. Okay, now the situation has changed. In Act 2, you can see the reversal of order. Means again, life is again means you can see anything. What does he want to convey in life? So again, Samuel Beckett wants to say that anything can happen to anybody in life. Pozo in Act 1 was a master and Lucky was a slave. And now you can see the reversal of situation or position. So now Pozo has become blind. He is blind now, okay, and he depends on Lucky now. He depends on Lucky. He is a slave. Okay, later you see the significant change in his position. Rope is shortened drawing Pozo much closer to Lucky is antithesis. Pozo is blind now, cannot find his way alone. He stumbles and falls. He stumbles and falls. He needs help to walk. He is pathetic, can no longer command. So he is pathetic, can no longer command or give direction to Lucky. Now he is pathetically dragged along by Lucky. So Lucky is dragging Pozo here. So what does it convey? What does it signify? It signifies reversal of order. Anything can happen to anybody at any given point of time. So nobody can be in an ivory tower thinking that he will be the master for life. No, not at all. Okay, anything can happen. So so like now he is pathetically dragged along by Lucky. So Lucky, the slave in Act 1 has become the master because Pozo has lost his vision or eyesight. He has become blind. So he's pathetic. He cannot walk without the help of someone. So from a man of omnipotence, now he is a fallen man. Pozo has become a fallen man. For him now, time is irrelevant and that man's existence is meaningless. So he is on the verge of death, and Pozo feels that man's existence itself is meaningless. So time is irrelevant for him now. He is anticipating death. So man's existence is discomforting and futile, depressing and gloomy, and there is no purpose for Pozo. Is sadist. Pozo can be seen as ego. The grave digger is the midwife of mankind. So he says Pozo is sadist. Pozo can be seen as an egoist. So in fact, he says the grave digger is the midwife of mankind. They give birth as strike the grave, the light gleams an instant, then it's night once more. So this is again the reality of life. The grave digger is the midwife of mankind. Midwife ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಜನನ ಕೊಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಅಗೇನ್ ಮೊದಲೆಲ್ಲ ಹಳ್ಳಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ ಮಗುವಿಗೆ ಜನ್ಮ ಕೊಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಹೆಣ್ಣುಮಕ್ಳುಗಳು ಸಹಾಯ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರು ಅಂಥವ್ರನ್ನ ಮಿಡ್ ವೈಫ್ ಅಂತ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಫಾರ್ಗಾಟನ್ ಅಗೇನ್ ಒನ್ ಲೇಡಿ ಫ್ರಮ್ ತುಮಕೂರು ಗಾಟ್ an award for it, like Padma Shri award for helping women while giving birth. So many occasions, more than 18,000 children. Okay, she has helped for more than 18,000 children. Again, she has helped to give birth. They again midwives antar avarunna. So the grave digger, when you are dead, when you are supposed to be buried, the grave digger can be considered as midwife of mankind, because he is helping you once again to reach the place where you have come from. From where you have come from, they give birth aside the grave. They give birth aside the grave. The light gleams an instant, then it's night once more. The light means while you are alive, you can see the light. When you are dead, it is darkness. It is night once more. It is complete darkness once more. Means, what does it mean? He is highly philosophical through these lines. Through these lines, Pozo again speaks the naked reality of life. So whatever the goals, whatever the destinations we may reach, whatever the positions we may take up in our life, but we have to understand one reality. We might see light for a specific period in our life, but we should also keep one thing in mind, that light is only for a few moments. It is night once again. It is night once again. You have Lucky on the other side, who again, his name is ironic. Given a kind of existence he is undergoing in the play, seeing the Vladimir again says, old dogs have more dignity. His actions are unpredictable. He seems to be more animal than human. He in the end reduced to lead a blind, that is Pozo, not by intellect but by blind instinct. Lucky is masochist. Lucky is also Ed. You see, what else happens here? And as I told you, Both Vladimir, it's already time. I think I hope Sulagiti, if you permit me to again to engage class for another 10 minutes, I'll complete the play. I hope I can come again continue for another 10 minutes. As I told you, again both Pozo and again Vladimir, sorry, Lucky arrive on the scene. They again their arrival gives the an impression like circus imagery. Circus imagery is used. Pozo, the ringmaster, and the lucky trained animal. Pozo, again is in tears. Again, the tears of the world are a constant quality. Pozo says the tears of the world are a constant quality for each one who begins to weep somewhere else, another, somewhere else, another stops. Means this world is filled with so much of suffering and pain. We may start crying here at some other point of the world. Somebody will start again crying. We may stop here, someone else will start crying. Means it's the suffering and the pain, it's a continuous process. It's a continuous process. He says the tears of the world are a constant quality for each one who begins to weep somewhere else, another stops. Beckett through Pozo speaks about miseries of human existence. Miseries of human existence will always exist, and man must learn to live with his tears and with his miseries. Lucky speech, on the other hand, oh God, man can create certain assumptions about God and certain hypotheses about God, but man can never come to a logical conclusion about God. But that is why you see, Lucky uses these words. Again, there is complete apatheia, complete again apatheia. What do you mean by apatheia? Apathy of God. What do you mean by apatheia? Aphasia. Apatheia, a loss of speech. There is complete apatheia, loss of speech, or divine silence. Divine silence. So, through Lucky, Samuel Beckett wants to say that there is divine silence. Even God is silent to the pain and miseries, of the world. Even there is complete silence. Lucky through again Samuel Beckett through Lucky uses the words like apatheia. Apatheia means loss of speech, where you find a complete divine silence. Even God is silent to the miseries of the world, to the miseries of again mankind. There is complete apatheia, or again apathy of God is missing. He also says, Lucky says, there is complete apatheia or apatheia for reasons unknown, we don't know exactly why even God is silent. And continuing with Act 1, again you can see the arrival of boy messenger. Again messenger of God. He comes there. Mr. Godot told me to tell you he won't come this evening, but surely tomorrow. After this, message, both Estrigan and Vladimir resolved to wait for God, since the boy told them that the God has asked them to wait till tomorrow. The first act ends with nothing is certain and nothing is worthwhile now. They say let's go, but do they go? No, they don't. They do not move. There is contradiction between their words and actions. Both of them feel that it is better to live, because waiting for God is an useless or futile act. That is what they feel, but still they don't go. They wait for God with lot of anticipation. I hope I have taken enough time now. What I'll do is I'll complete this play tomorrow. I may need another extra 15 minutes to complete this play. I am running out of time. So I think I have taken, by now it is 1 hour 4 minutes. I require another 15 minutes or 20 minutes to complete this play. Bear with me for till tomorrow. I'll continue with the same text tomorrow. Okay. Thank you one and all, and hope you all have a good day. Meet you once again with the same text tomorrow. Thank you one and all.